I'm sorry. Over the Hedge original soundtrack.
Fuck yeah, bro. Indeed.
That's fucking amazing. I didn't even realize it had its own music.
it did. And it has one of the greatest songs of the decade.
Dude.
You should get a picture of Over the Hedge soundtrack and then a picture of Anthony Fantano.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. This is jam. Heist.
What are you listening to?
Over the Hedge soundtrack.
Ba ba da ba 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 da da ba ba da ba ba da ba ba.
The time till the last drop. So we all right for nothing. Cause it's never.
Now we got. Oh my god.
Lost in the supermarket.
So underrated.
What?
This
What
has
is?
the same tune as Here We Are in the Future.
What's wait? Heist.
Oh my god, it was ahead
No,
of its
Lost in the
time.
Supermarket, Yogo.
Lost in the super. Where are you listening to that?
Nathan's clearly got the Over the Hedge original soundtrack
Over the
just
Hedge
playing
original
directly from them.
Did not only inspire future soundtracks such as even, but it was ahead of its time. It knew the musical trends of the past 3 years.
Nathan, your
2001.
poor desk. You keep slapping it. Like some
Here
big
we are
butt.
in the future. Here we are in the future, and it's right.
Let's call it Steve. This is a deep
Oh my
cut. It's
god! How much?
This is a deep cut. This is underrated. This is underground.
Please.
What the hell? And it's not just about the music, it's also about the album art.
Oh,
It
well,
shows-
yeah, obviously. You know.
It shows what you come to expect with this.
Yeah, most other movies would just, most other things would just use their promotional material as the album art. But no, they use the album art as the promotional material. They did it the other way around because they were just so ahead of their time.
Still. This one's called Still. A bit of an emotional ballad.
Oh yeah, this is obviously from the Verminator himself.
You're listening to the soundtrack?
We are.
Oh my god.
This song.
I mean, why am I laughing? Of course we are,
You can
Yoga.
hear
This is one of
These
the.
two Americans done
Oh
This
my
is-
god.
This is the greatest two musical minds of our generation.
Wait, two?
Songs by Ben Folds, music by Rupert Gregson Williams, okay? Songs and music are two different things, and they established that with their two just musical genius minds. Like, it really shows in their music as well. Like, simply calling it music, and saying, and just calling it a song or just music, which is even putting it on the same level as, stuff from this year, it does it an injustice, but, let me tell you, this is more than music, right? This is
Life.
This is
First time I
fine.
was there staring at the album, I was in a trance. I had fully ascended and let the media life.
I mean, it's very emotional.
His music saved me.
This song's difficult to listen to. I was going through a rough time during
The 60s.
this.
And I don't mean in the modern sense of, you know, saved me as in, you know, people wanting to, you know, get out of a rough time. So listen, no. It saved me from living three-dimensionally.
What?
Wait, what?
It has opened my third eye. I am now a fourth-dimensional being.
What the fuck?
Just because
You better
I
listen to
listened
this
to
album.
the Over the Hedge soundtrack 30 times in one sitting.
Over the fucking hedge, bro.
Without
Over the
anything else to
fucking hedge.
distract me as well. I was completely entranced by just the music.
2001-2006 epic record, a division of.
I don't remember what the movie was about.
Play?
That's what the song is called. It's called Play.
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 I remember this one. It was at this time where I was thinking to myself, man,
This-
I need cookie.
This is where the album. Gets to this.
And this is where it dares to challenge your previous beliefs.
Album gets a bit more experimental. It explores themes of capitalism.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It explores themes such as being stuck in the third dimension.
And
not
it
knowing
makes
your
you
way
question.
out.
It makes you question being comfortable with, you know, living in a universe. You know, rather than the musical multiverse
It
that
does
these
all
two
that
express
without lyric.
with their soundtrack.
Jesus Christ. You sure you guys aren't on drugs?
What do you mean? This is over the head.
What do you mean? Good point. I wholeheartedly agree.
Drug.
I don't think you understand. The only other person to have had this experience, like outside of us and these musical geniuses, is Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock. But he does an excellent job at hiding it. This next
he
song,
keep-
this
he
next
keeps
song
that
here is where the
straight
movie
face
comes
composure.
back a little.
The one where you can't tell he has listened to the overhead music from the motion picture album.
This song represents the Verminator's descent. You know, the guitar
I mean,
really.
if I had to pick one, this is probably my least favorite, but it's still extraordinary.
You know, like the guitar that's used throughout this song represents the fact that, you know, while everyone else remains a still string, the Verminator dares to vibrate and create the sound that we call music. And it's just expressed beautifully. And the lyrics, I mean, they convey such a deep message that, you know, most people would think it's about something generic, but, you know, you look deeper, you read in between the lines, and you find out about how, you know, the Verminator was sick of living in a capitalist three-dimensional society, so decided to awaken his ideologies to, yeah, and I need my awakened ideologies chart here.
Jesus Christ, this is how socialism started, didn't it?
I have my awakened ideologies, hang on. I have it saved on my phone somewhere.
Despite what you may think, Ben Folds and Rupert Gregson Williams not.
Okay,
socialist.
so he started, you know, he started with Scatman's worldview, right? And it, you know, it's really demonstrated really well in this, you know, him experimenting with his worldview, and even, you know, going to Kanye guided theocracy, you know, and the
What?
whole Jesus is king. you know, and you know, right here is where he starts adoring, you know, Kanye and starts listening to Kanye. But then, you know, he decides,
Yes.
the whole "My name's Bill, I live just across the street" thing. That is a reference to Inspector
Clinton.
Inspector Gadget.
What?
And how that seemingly child-friendly show delves deep into society's need to have us transform and change ourselves to fit with the status quo.
Like Bill Gates. That's why he says
Yeah,
Bill.
like Bill Gates.
What the fuck?
And the fact that the song, you know, daringly
You don't know.
goes down the path of using, you know, regular style conversation within the music. You know, it makes the listener think, you know, that's not right, and it challenges the listener to look deeper and find its hidden meaning. And once you do discover those hidden meanings, only then will you be awakened to over the hedge ideology.
Here we have the seven minute and 37-second song, The Inside Heist.
Oh, that number alone has so many hidden messages inside it. You know, like I could delve into that number for hours, days even, but I'll spare you. I'll spare you all of that because I know that some people in this group chat, you know, might not be fourth dimensional. They can't, you know, bend time to their will and make hours go by in an instant. And days go by in a month. But
Thank you for your consideration.
yeah, but to give you the short answer, you know, yeah, he uses strings here, and that alone, you know, like strings are known to be graceful, right? People consider violins and stuff to be graceful and the thing of beauty. But then you see a vibrator and you think, you know, that's not a thing of beauty, right? But the ironic thing is the sound that comes from violins and cellos is in and of itself vibrations, which makes the violins and the cellos and the double basses, they are all vibrators. In fact, anything that makes a vibrator.
Jesus Christ.
Which,
What were we
you know,
talking about?
delves more into the ideology of the Verminator's sick experiments, as society likes to call them. But most of us here in the fourth dimension call them, you know, something comparable to, you know, like eating a sandwich or something. But
Something menial.
yeah, something menial. But you know, it delves deep into the fact that the Verminator was able to, you know, craft a vibrator that was able to make the sounds and was able to play the Over the Hedge soundtrack, which delves deep into the metaphysical part of it, because one might think, how could the Verminator play the Over the Hedge soundtrack when the Over the Hedge soundtrack is in and of itself about the Verminator? And to that I say, you know, that's just how we in the fourth dimension, in the meta, as we like to call it.
What the
fuck? In the meta, as we like to call it. You know, that's how we operate. You know, we're able to make fine art about things that haven't happened yet and simultaneously have already happened. And it truly is brilliant how they do it. And it's, I, I wrote, I wrote my gift
Thesis.
all about it.
Oh.
So make sure to go to tenet.com/gift/trollfunny to see. uh,
Okay, we're gonna listen to RJ rescues his family.
Oh, fuck. Now let me talk to you about RJ rescues his family. Now one might think, who's RJ? And to you I say, a character in the movie, you fucking moron. But little does everyone know, the soundtrack came out eons before the movie. It was actually made with the multiverse, which delves deep into the
Whoa.
fact that this soundtrack was made potentially in the fifth dimension, or as we at the office like to call it, the meta. Now, saying the meta sounds like something an Indigenous Australian would say, like yara yara or something, and that might sound racist at first, but I assure you, this is what they had in mind, right? This is what they had in mind, because Indigenous Australians just bring the whole thing together. Because you see, Indigenous Australians made their art that they put in caves, in walls, on stones, everywhere, right? And those paintings, those drawings, those pieces of art lead us in the right direction to figuring out who or what created the Over the Hedge soundtrack. And one might think, it was Ben Folds and Rupert Gregson Williams, right? Everyone knows this. But it's a similar situation to I don't know who, but those aren't their real names. No, it's impossible for someone living third dimensionally to actually comprehend, let alone pronounce their true
I'd say
name.
this is a similar situation to like the person who wrote the Bible.
Yeah, definitely. But even the person who wrote the Bible, wrote the entire thing based off literally one line of music, of mortal, ear remembered sheet music for RJ rescues his family. That was the inspiration behind the Bible,
Jesus.
right? One line from RJ rescues his family. Now RJ points us right in the right direction, because if you reverse RJ, you get JR. If you put a K from family, because what do you give your family? You give them special K, right? So if you put the K between J and R, you get JKR, JK Rowling. That's pointing us in the right direction. Harry Potter, one might think that is fantastical, but no, that's giving us a peek into what humans can achieve if we actually use even 1% more of our brain capacity. And I say our very lightly because, as you both know, I have listened to the entire Over the Hedge soundtrack in one sitting 30 times over, which means that, I've gotten glimpses into the fourth dimension, and it's beyond comprehension. Let me tell you.
Okay, here we have the very last song, still reprised.
Oh man, still reprise.
This takes me back.
This one's my favorite. This takes me back to when I was a young boy, first watching Over the Hedge, and I just thought, damn, Still Reprise is the best thing about this movie. And one might think, you know, Still Reprise, where's the original Still? And to that I say, it was under our noses the whole time. You remember
It's on this
RJ
album.
You remember RJ?
Actually,
No, it's not. That's optical illusion. You remember RJ rescues his family, right?
yep.
That is the original version of Still.
Oh,
Think about it. J.K. Rowling would have had to sit still while writing Harry Potter.
oh my God, you're right.
What the fuck?
And the lyrics right here go like la dum la dum la da 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 dum, right? That's fifth dimensional Morse code, which is nothing like third dimensional Morse code. Let me tell you. They're actually reciting, you know, in those two, what seems like a brief lines. They're reciting the entire, completely unknown future, past, and present history of human literature. Why did Siri come up on my phone?
Come listen.
The vibrations of their voice. They tell the story of how Earth itself came to be. And you might just think, oh, you're just making up shit. This is just the Over the Hedge soundtrack. And to you I say, have you even heard the Over the Hedge soundtrack? Because I assure you that if you do, you'll also be a believer.
What people don't realize is that the Over the Hedge soundtrack was playing the whole time while they were watching the movie. If they took the time to actively listen to it, they could become fourth dimensional beings too.
That in and of itself is another clue as to, you know, how the Over the Hedge soundtrack, you know, sort of exists, you know, beyond everything. Because, you know, the Over the Hedge soundtrack, as you said, plays throughout the whole movie. And wouldn't you know it, the Over the Hedge soundtrack plays throughout all of human history.
What?
Every event ever happened is stored in the vibrations of the Over the Hedge soundtrack. Everything that has happened, everything that will happen, everything ever is all stored atom by atom in the vibrations of the Over the Hedge soundtrack, especially in this song.
What the fuck?
So one might think it just plays throughout the movie. No, it plays throughout everything.
Holy shit. I honestly have no idea what to say.
And the song's just gotten triumphant as I'm saying that.
You don't have to say anything, you just have to listen.
To experience it for yourself.
Listen to the
This can't be described in English language, in primitive
It's not
English
be described
language.
in any language. To even attempt to use language to describe everything that happens in the Over the Hedge soundtrack would take one a infinite number of lifetimes.
There are groups of people that dedicate their entire life to studying this.
And they have only scratched the surface of the surface.
The fuck?
They've only they haven't even dug 2 centimeters off the crust
Of something that is, you know, light years long.
Damn, this guy knows that light years is a measurement of distance, not time.
It is.
He's a philosopher.
Like,
because
this out-
because Yorgo, in the 5th, 6th, 12th dimension, wherever this comes from, distance, time, weight, everything is all the same.
This is starting to sound like the shit my mum used to watch.
if you heard the music in the background, this would sound so epic.
Jesus.
Listen to this outro. So beautiful. Oh.
Maybe that's why you're
Oh.
enlightened. You're listening to it. Maybe it doesn't even.
Oh.
Maybe that's all it takes.
Oh.
But
Wow.
then that begs a mystery of its own. Who are Ben Folds and the other guy?
Immortal beings.
That was amazing.
More, please.
Where were you when you first listened to the soundtrack of the Over the Hedge music from the motion picture movie? Where were you? Where were you when you listened to the Over the Hedge music album?